Jason, fourth quarter, Tatum, ladies and gentlemen, the Suns have flamed out, and we've got an NFL schedule. This is Undisputed TGIF. I'm Jen Hale. Welcome in. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, did anybody sleep last night?
I slept great. I had the best night of sleep in like months.
I went to sleep at halftime of the second
You
game.
should've.
Because last night, I witnessed the two most sickening playoff games in the same night I have ever witnessed. Two epic collapses, epic fails, epic you-know-whats.
Okay, that's 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Do you still consider him the best player on the planet after?
Which one are we talking about?
You know
now?
which one I'm talking about.
Oh, the second game.
Yeah.
No, I do not. We'll get to
You
that.
done gave up on him?
Huh?
You done gave up on him?
Well, I gave up on him last year. I said he could earn his way back to the top, and he disappeared again.
Oh, man.
Again.
I'm sorry, Skip.
Yep.
I feel
Well, now
bad.
we'll see tonight whether
Let's
the
go,
other guy can
guys.
earn
Don't
his
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Unpack.
You forfeit the right to mention his
These
name.
playoffs.
Oh,
All right, I'm keeping you on track this morning because
Okay.
we have so much on our agenda. Okay, let's start with that Celtics game, guys. Jason Tatum and Boston rallying back, beating the 76ers 95-86 last night. That forces a Game 7 in Boston on Sunday. Mother's Day, FYI, people. Tatum started out slow. He shot 0 of 10 from the floor in the first half. I don't know, I guess he drank some coffee at halftime. He ends up with 19 overall. And gentlemen, 16 of those points came in the fourth quarter. Embiid and Maxey each had 26 for Philly, while James Harden had 13 points and a game-high 5 turnovers. All right, Shannon, I know Skip's going to have a lot to say about the 76ers. Let me start with you and the Celtics. Did Boston win or did the 76ers lose?
Well, I thought the Boston should have won the game a lot earlier, Skip. They jumped on them early in the ball game, got up to as many as 16 points in the second quarter.
They did.
But give the Sixers credit. They found a way to fight the we're back. The Sixers, you got to be kicking yourself. Jason Tatum had 1 point at the half. He had 3 points at the end of 3 quarters. And so you're like, okay, what are we doing here? And Skip, Jason Tatum, whatever term you want to use for saying bad, he played like some stir fry. He was awful. He was terrible. As unbelievable. But for 5 minutes, he played like one of the top 5 players in the world. And that's what he did, Skip. He hit a step back. He hit a step back 3 in Embiid's face. And I'm like, dang, he kind of shot that with confidence. Body language looked a little different.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. And Skip, he came down and shot another one. And it was like his body was glowing. I said, Sixers, y'all better be careful. Because I've seen him look like this before, Skip. We've seen him look like this before, where he's like, you know, he always, his favorite player is Kobe. And we saw Kobe hit a couple of shots, and he like grow and grow and grow. And you saw that with Jason Tatum last night. I said, man, Sixers, man, y'all better come on now, he feeling it. And guess what? Every time down the court, no matter who, they give him the ball, and he started doing his thing. He started working his magic. 4 of 5 from the 3 in the fourth quarter, 4 of 8 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 16 points. He outscored the Sixers by himself. Skip, the Sixers are going to be kicking themselves. And you and I talked about this a little bit, Skip. I don't know. If they lose this series, I don't know if Doc's come back.
I agree.
We're going to talk about this a little later. Monty
Yes.
Williams in that same boat, Skip.
Same boat.
Back-to-back years.
Same boat.
You've been down 30 at the half.
Agreed.
Skip, if I got to be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Sixers lost this game because I'm going to say Boston won. Boston jumped on them early, and we saw this, Skip. The home teams think, no, well, we home, we good, we got the crowd. What happened? Both teams came out lethargic. Both teams found themselves down by large margins. Now, at least the Sixers were able to get themselves back in the ball game. The Suns never could.
No.
So I'm going to say the Celtics won this one, Skip, because they came out with an intensity.
Yeah.
And even though I was like, well, Jason Tatum, damn, are you going to do anything today? I was like, how many? I said, I've never seen a guy, Skip, a superstar. Now, I consider Jason Tatum a superstar, not the tier 2 superstars.
Yep.
How many times are you going to go over?
I don't
at
know.
the half? Skip, well,
I don't know.
We talked about this for the last 3 games.
Again and again and again and again and again. I got it.
And then guess what he did? He looked like Michael Jordan. He looked like Michael Jordan in the fourth quarter. Because Without him doing his heroics, Skip, they're going to lose this game. It's about to be 4-2, and Philly's going on to the Eastern Conference
I don't
Final.
know. I'm not sure they would have lost. I think we'd be in the 10th overtime right now because Philly wouldn't score. They just keep doing nothing to nothing overtimes.
Yeah. I'm going to say, Skip, all that. I'm going to say the Celtics won this ball game. The Celtics won it because they jumped on them earlier, even though they couldn't maintain the lead. The Sixers fought their way back into it, but it was Jason Tatum. The last 5 minutes, 38 minutes, he was terrible. Awful. Dog poo, diddly poo, whatever poo you want to name. Horse, cow, whatever. But for 5 minutes, he was sensational.
Yeah. I'm about to unleash on the Philadelphia 76ers. I hear everything you said. I think you were leaning toward Sixers blew it because in the end, they blew it.
They were home.
They were home.
And you got the MVP.
You got the MVP. You got everything you want. You're in charge. You're in control. You got the momentum. You got it all. And speaking of poop, you human pooped all over the floor. That's what it was. It wasn't dog or horse or cow poop. You human pooped all over the floor. I'm not sure I've ever seen a worse collapse under the circumstance of, at that moment, Jason Tatum, first team All-NBA, was 1 for 14. At the point of their self-destruction, he was 1 for 14.
Yeah.
The blame should be spread around like manure all over everybody. And I'm going to start with Doc because you brought him up. Doc is famous for saying it's a make or miss league. Shannon, the more though I agree with that premise, the more I think about Doc saying it, and he said it again after the game last night, it's make or miss. It's almost one of the all-time greatest excuses ever made by a coach because he's just shrugging and saying, don't look at me.
Right.
They're either going to make or miss the threes. And I got it. That's basically what happened in the end for the Sixers because they got a bunch of open three looks and they just
couldn't knock them down.
Upchucked. But, Shannon, the coach has to have some responsibility for what's happening.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe there's a timeout that needs to be called. Maybe there's something that needs to be said in the huddle. Joe Mazzulla said he told Jason Tatum, I love you. Okay, maybe that was it. I don't know. Jaylen Brown kept yelling at Jason Tatum, just keep shooting, they can't guard you. Okay, something has to get said, and it has to start from the head coach. Doc tends to just fold his arms over there on the bench and has his body language is, don't look at me.
Right.
They're the one. I can't play. I used to play. I was pretty good, but I can't play anymore.
That's that Phil Jackson.
Okay.
You remember Phil, they'd be going and Phil just like, okay, y'all figure it out, Michael, Scotty. Okay, figure it out, Shaq and Kobe.
Okay, but he had.
But you ain't got Shaq
He had
and Kobe.
Michael and he had. Okay.
You ain't got them.
You don't. You do have the MVP.
Yeah,
But he can be a little wonky mentally. Like he comes and he goes and sometimes he's plugged in and sometimes he's not.
he got a little frustrated last night because they wouldn't get him the ball.
Okay. Some of that is his fault. I'm going to get to that in a moment. Now to James Harden. I told you yesterday when we made our predictions, I picked the Sixers to win this series in 6. But I don't trust James Harden. And last night I concluded about James Harden because I kept asking you the questions along the trail. Is he just an evil genius or is he just a flat-out choke artist in the biggest games? Shannon, he's a choke artist. If you look back, and we're going to go deeper into this later in the show.
Okay.
But if you go back and look at his biggest games of his career, I'm talking about the make or break games, not the game 2s or the game 3s.
Right.
I'm talking about the 6s and the 7s.
Okay.
The ones that really matter to your legacy. He's a choke artist. He shrinks, he folds, he can't hold on to the basketball. And last night, he was horrendously bad. Remember what Doc said after Game 5? He said, James was a magician tonight. Well, last night, he was a magician, an amateur magician who got exposed where the cards are falling out of his sleeves, right?
Well, he made a win disappear.
He did. He made a win disappear. He was terrible. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he's been an MVP in this league.
Yeah.
And he looks terrible. And I don't know if he just hits the wall physically where he just runs out of gas. But I'm going to break it down. this is the way I saw the collapse last night. And I'm going to start with a play that occurred with 5:57 left in the game. Tyrese Maxey, whom I love, steals the ball from Jaylen Brown.
Right.
And he's off to the races, and Jason Tatum just reaches and grabs him, and they have to go to the review. And it's, oh, wait, it's a clear path. It's a clear path, if we could see this play. And clear path means he's going to get 2 free throws and the ball. Here he goes, and Jason really had no choice but to just grab him, and Tyrese is saying, that's clear path, that's clear path. And they had to go look at it, but they say, yep, it wasn't a take foul, it's clear path.
Right.
Then they screw up completely, and they let Joel shoot the free throws, and then they had to stop the play and let Tyrese go back and shoot the free throws. And to his credit, he went and stood there by himself, and he made both the free throws. Okay, so it is now Philadelphia 83, Boston 81. You are up 2 with 5:57 left. That crowd is lifting the roof off that place.
They are.
You got them. You got them on the run. Shannon Sharpe, would you believe that from that moment forward, down the stretch of this